College is located on the banks of the Great Salt Lake in the middle of Utah. I'm going to be your area scout SEP, and welcome to the first Westlake recruiting special here on Octagonal's channel. Today we'll go over some of the players that we'll see in the 2014 class that are currently high school seniors, and some of the players that we could see in the upcoming years that are high school juniors as well. The first state we'll go over will be Florida, then we'll go over part of Utah, and then California. We'll look over Benjamin Gold. He's a quarterback right now in Dynasty, Florida. He plays for the Baboons, as you can see them playing cross city here. And this is a pretty good matchup that we actually did attend. This is week 1 of the high school season, and he threw an absolute dart right there to begin his high school season. He's currently a 3-star. He's number 24 quarterback in the 2014 class. Stands at 5'11", 202 pounds, and he could be the next quarterback because we do have a lot of quarterback issues right now at Westlake. Then we send out to Colorado, looking in the Rocky Mountains. We sent out to Denver High School as they were actually playing Aurora High School. This is kind of an in-state rivalry, as you can see, just trucking people. This was a good game. This guy's name is Shaquan Carter. He's got a lot of power. He's that power back, but he's also got speed. He's definitely not a still running back. But as you can see, he's definitely one of the more powerful backs I think I've seen, at least on high school level. He's very dominant, but he's very underrated. Not a lot of schools are looking at him. Obviously, you'll have BYU, Colorado, and Colorado State definitely eyeing him. He's currently a senior at Denver. He's 6'1", 185 pounds. He's a 3-star, number 45 running back in his class. Then we look at the tight end in Denver. Currently, he's just a junior. He goes by the name of Parker Strong, standing at 6'7", 260 pounds, a huge frame, a very good receiving tight end, but he can also do a lot in the blocking game. As you can see, this catch right here for a touchdown, a beautiful catch right there. He's currently standing at 6'7", 260 pounds. He's a junior at Denver, and he's the tight end of the 2015 class. Definitely a guy that we're going to look at next year, and he could be a big part of our offense in the upcoming seasons. Then we send it out to our very own Utah. There's 2 schools in Utah. There's Salt Lake City High, and then there's Salt Lake City Prep. Now, this is actually a big rivalry. The high school City High were actually the Salt Lake City High are the Elks, and then Prep are the Crusaders. The running back we're looking at right here is Scooter Sinclair. He's very, very fast, coming out of the little gaps, and then he can shoot gaps very well, and he's a very powerful back as well. Standing at 6'1", 190 pounds, he's a senior at Salt Lake City High, and he's a 3-star, and he's number 31 running back in the 2014 class. As you can see, his teammate there is a corner by the name of Ash Jakar. Ash is a very good quarterback at Salt Lake City, and he can pick off the ball really well, as you can see right there, reading that corner pass extremely well, that little end route. And then the quarterback trying to get the pass off, he slams him into the turf, throwing him over, just completely disrespecting him. And then as you can see right here, getting in the way of the pass and deflecting it away. He's a 3-star, the number 67 corner in the 2014 class, 5'10", 187 pounds, and he's also a senior at Salt Lake City High School in Salt Lake City, Utah. And then the big blocker at Salt Lake City Prep is a guy by the name of Jonathan Buxton. As you can see, he has a giant frame, 6'8", 310 pounds. Actually, excuse me, that was James Buxton. He's only a 3-star, very underlooked. Teams that are definitely looking at him are going to be Utah State and BYU. Those are our big contenders for him. But I think we can land him with his big body, and he would definitely help the quarterback play by giving them more time. The running back that he actually blocks for is the guy by the name of Isaiah Clear. He definitely is more of a juker than maybe a Shaquan Carter is. But as you can see, he definitely has the speed and power to be a good back at the next level. He's a 3-star running back, a number 54 back in the 2014 class. Stands at 5'10", 200 pounds, and he's currently a senior at Salt Lake City Prep, and I think he's going to be very good. Salt Lake City Prep was actually taking on a school called Linden in their Week 2 matchup, and Linden has a guy by the name of Mike Parrish, a big outside linebacker. He's definitely highly doubted, and I don't think he's going to get a lot of schools that are going to be offering him. I think he's definitely a guy that we can target. Mark Parrish, a 3-star outside linebacker, the number 89 outside linebacker in the 2014 class. We're basically all targeting 3-stars because we don't want to go too high. But then this guy right here could easily be a 5-star. Right now he's just a junior. He goes by the name of Champ Britton. He's from California. He goes to Jefferson High School just outside of Los Angeles, and he throws absolute darts. He's very agilic, as you can see right here, rolling outside the pocket, looking like Josh Allen with this giant throw for a touchdown. Oh my goodness. One of the craziest throws we think we saw on this entire trip. Champ Britton, he's the quarterback in the 2015 class. He's right now just a junior at Jefferson High. Could easily be the number 1 or 2 quarterback in next year's class. The team he was playing was Davis High School, again just outside of Los Angeles. And the guy that we were looking at in this one whose last name is Duper. He's a very powerful back, as you can see on this play right here. We threw a little toss play to him, and he absolutely runs over this guy right here, just trucking him like it's nothing. He's going to be a guy that we need to watch out for, Jack Duper. If we don't land him, somebody else will, and he's going to be a real threat on the ground game. And that will wrap up my portion of the recruiting special. If you guys enjoyed these little highlights of some of the top recruits for not only next year but the year after, please leave a like on the video. If you guys want to see this next season for Westlake, then leave that in the comments. I'll send it out to Octagonal to look at the rest of our recruiting board.
Alrighty, thank you SEP for going over some of our prospects. If you would like to watch his content, link will be in the description. A lot of very similar stuff to mine. This series would not be possible without him. So, yeah, go subscribe to him. So, before we go over the rest of the recruiting board, I want to take a quick look at some of the recruits talked about today. We're not going to be talking about the two juniors, Parker Strong and Champ Britton. We're going to be going more about them next year when they are seniors looking to commit. But I'm going to talk about three of these guys who I really like. My three favorite players here who Mr. SEP talked about. The first one is quarterback Benjamin Gold. I really like his skill set, and I think he has a chance to be a day one starter for Westlake. If he were to commit, he is a good scrambler, but he also has a pretty talented arm. He is pretty small, though, only 5'11", but he was a very solid baseball player, actually drafted by the Colorado Rockies in the amateur draft as a pitcher in the 22nd round out of high school, but decided to stick with football. There's a very good chance he will commit to Westlake. Another prospect I really like is running back Shaquan Carter. He can also play a little bit of defensive back, but he's mainly a running back. He's 6'1", so he's pretty big, has speed as well as power. His family got into a severe car crash, his two parents, and were injured, which sort of kicked Shaquan up a notch, where he really focused on academics and he really focused on football, and that was probably the best thing for his football career. Not saying that that's good, but that's made him into an excellent football player at running back. Somewhat unlikely that Westlake does get him. He's looking like he's probably going to go to Colorado, but Westlake could snatch him up. And probably my favorite prospect here is Ash Jakar, a defensive back. There's a good chance he will commit to Westlake. Westlake really likes him, and Ash Jakar really likes Westlake. He's going to get a lot of playing time early on, and he can pretty much play anywhere on the defense. I would say he's probably fit best at safety, but he's played a lot of cornerback in high school. He could probably fit in at middle linebacker as well as sort of like a hybrid. So I see a lot of good usage out of Ash Jakar for Westlake or wherever he goes. So let's look at the rest of the recruiting board. Alrighty, now we're going to take a look at the rest of the recruiting board. The only quarterback on the board is Benjamin Gold, who we already talked about. Running back, a lot of running backs on the board. 4 of them were in the recruiting special. Jack Duper, Shaquan Carter, Isaiah Clear, and Scooter Sinclair. Pretty likely that Clear will go to Utah State. Carter and Sinclair, Westlake are both in battles with, and Duper, Westlake is in the lead. Meanwhile, we see Hassan Lawrence, a 5-star. Not a lot of teams have paid attention to him, so Westlake figured they'd give it a crack. It's pretty unlikely that Lawrence does go to Westlake, but they figured they might as well try. Same at wide receiver here with Joey Swain, the number 3 wide receiver in the country. Really good football player. Him and Cortez Thorne together would be pretty scary. Tight end, no one but remember the junior, I forget his name, Parker Strong, I think it is, who goes to Shaquan Carter's high school. He's going to be certainly on Westlake's radar next year. Offensive tackle, we talked about James Boxton. He's going to Arizona State. At guard, Ben Jude and Chris Beckett are 2 players to watch out for, especially Beckett. He's only a 1-star, but he's not a JUCO or anything. He's a really talented player, and I think he's being very underlooked. At center, Talib Caldwell, a player that Westlake really, really wants to get. I kind of doubt it, but Westlake really, really wants this kid. Defensive end, Sam Johnson, a player Westlake liked a lot initially, but after doing their homework, they realized he's not that good. Outside linebacker, Mark Parrish, who we talked about, another player that not a lot of teams are going after, probably will commit to Westlake. Corners, 8 cornerbacks on the board, headlined by Ash Jakar, but there are a bunch of other really talented players. like Dwayne Givens, Quentin Campbell, Luis Berry, Ryan Sutton, Stephen Branch. There's a bunch of really good corners here. And I would say cornerback is a need because the only really good one on this team, Junior Evans, he's a senior, and he's not that spectacular anyway. He's solid, but he's not, like, great. And Alan Hayden, Demetrius Cyphers, and Rashad Lilly aren't really going to carry the cornerback spot. Strong safety, there's Lester Johnson, and that pretty much rounds it out. 2 players currently have visits scheduled. That is Benjamin Gold, who's going to be visiting Week 7 against BYU with the intention of committing potentially after that game. And Ash Jakar is going to be visiting Week 12, which is Senior Day against, I believe, Old Dominion. So that'll do it. What do you guys think of the recruiting board? Bye.
Hey, man!